Hello students, welcome to science class. As you know that we already over this lesson living organism and their surroundings. Now in this video I will explain you exercise questions, textbook exercise question. First question is, what is habitat? What is habitat? And the answer is the place where organisms live is called habitat. As you know that the place where organisms live is called its habitat, where they find food, water, shelter, everything. So the place where organisms live is called habitat. And habitat means a dwelling place. Dwelling place means a home. So the habitat provides food, water, air, shelter and other needs to organisms. Here some pictures of habitats are given. Pond, this is also habitats of many aquatic animals and plants. Then forest. Forest also habitats of many that animals and plants. Desert is the habitat of many animals like that camel, snake, rat and plants like cactus and all. River also there. River also habitats of many aquatic plants and animals. Forest area, it means that these all are a different habitat. So what is a habitat? The place where organisms live is called habitat, and habitat means a dwelling place. The habitat provides food, water, air, shelter and other needs to organism. Next question is, how are cactus adapted to survive in a desert? Means what are the adaptive features? Because of that cactus can easily survive in a desert. So how are cactus adapted to survive in a desert? So you know that cactus that leaves are modified into thorns, and roots of the cactus is very long. It can go very deep into the soil for searching water and all, because there is very dry environment there, and through transpiration leaves lose the water. That's why mostly in the cactus leaves are not present. Instead of leaves, some thorns are there. And if leaves are not there in the plant, so who will be done the process of photosynthesis? Again here one question is there. So in that cactus, stem of the plant perform the process of photosynthesis. So question is, how are cactus adapted to survive in a desert? So adaptation of cactus are as follows. Leaf is replaced by spines to reduce transpiration. To reduce, it means plants lose water through the process of transpiration by the leaves. And here in cactus, leaves only not there. So here all leaves are replaced by thorns or spines to reduce transpiration. Stem carry out photosynthesis. And as I told you, if leaves are not there, so who will be perform the process of photosynthesis? So instead of leaves, here stem carry out photosynthesis. A thick waxy layer surrounds leaf to retain water. And here it means that roots of cactus are deeply rooted inside the soil to absorb water to perform photosynthesis. Plant need water and mineral from the soil. And here that in desert area, very dry area is there, as you know that, and everywhere sand, because so that roots of the cactus plants are very long, and they go very deep into the ground to absorb water from the ground. So how are cactus adapted to survive in a desert? Adaptation of cactus are as follow. Leaf is replaced by spine to reduce transpiration. Stems carry out photosynthesis and a thick waxy layer surrounds leaf to retain water. And roots of cactus are deeply rooted inside soil to absorb water. Next, question number 3 is fill up the blanks. Number 1. The presence of specific features which enable a plant or an animal to live in a particular habitat is called dash. Remember this, the definition of adaptation. The presence of specific features which enable a plant or an animal to live in a particular habitat is called adaptation. Second, the habitats of the plants and animals that live on land are called dash habitat. Again, habitats are of two types, terrestrial habitats and aquatic habitat. I told you. Terrestrial habitat means the plants and animals which live on land, and aquatic habitat means the plants and animals which live in water. So here the question is, the habitats of the plants and animals that live on land are called dash habitat. So the habitat of the plants and animals that live on land are called terrestrial habitat. Third, the habitats of plants and animals that live in water are called dash habitat. Again, the habitats of plants and animals that live in water are called aquatic habitat. Number 4, soil, water and air are the dash factors of habitat. Again, remember that two types of factors are there, two types of components are there in habitat. One, living component of the habitat like plants and animals, and some non-living component of the habitats are abiotic component. Remember that soil, water, air, temperature, these all are non-living things. Means abiotic factors of a habitat. Soil, water and air are the abiotic factors of a habitat. Then number 5, changes in our surroundings that makes us respond to them are called dash. So changing in our surroundings that makes us respond to them are called stimuli. Question number 4. Which of the things in the following list are non-living? So here one list is given, some things are there. So you have to find from this list which things are non-living things. So I am reading this: plow, mushroom, sewing machine, radio, boat, water, hyacinth and earthworm. So which are non-living things? So see that first is plow. Plow, it means it shows the all characteristics of non-living things only. So it is non-living. Now mushroom. A mushroom plant is a living thing. It is a plant only. So it is living thing. Sewing machine, non-living thing. Radio, non-living thing. Boat, non-living thing. Water hyacinth is a plant, aquatic plant. So it is living thing. And earthworm, you know that it is earthworm. It means living thing. So here plow, sewing machine, radio and boat are non-living things. Question number 5. Give an example of a non-living thing which shows any two characteristics of living things. So here you have to give one example of non-living things. It is non-living thing, but this non-living thing only shows any two characteristics of living things. Not all characteristics, but only two characteristics of living things. So here we can take many examples. if we are taking here example of car. Car is a non-living thing, you know that. See, say it shows any two characteristics of living things. So first is it can move like living things. It means it can move from one place to another. So this is the characteristics of living thing only, na, movement. So it can move like living beings. And second is it needs oxygen. We also need oxygen. Living things also need oxygen for respiration. Like us, car also need oxygen. Second example we can take cloud also. Cloud is a non-living thing, but it shows two characteristics of living thing. For example, it grow bigger in size. Like us, it means like living things. So it grow bigger in size, and it can move from one place to another. Clouds move from one place to another. So these two characteristics cloud also show. So you can write any of two characteristics of living things which shows by the non-living things. Question number 6 is, which of the non-living things listed below were once part of our living things, but now these things are non-living, but earlier these things were the part of the living thing, not. So here first is butter. Butter, you know that butter is a milk product only, and milk comes from the living things like cow, buffalo, goat and all. Leather now is a living thing. Sorry, now is a non-living thing, but earlier it was a part of the living thing. Part, it means skin of the animal, and animals are living things. Then soil now it is non-living. Earlier also it was non-living only. Wool, again wool, now it is a non-living things, but earlier it was the part of the living thing because of wool comes from that sheep's hair, and sheep is a living. Now electric bulb, though it glow, but it is a non-living thing earlier and now both. Then cooking oil comes from the seeds of the plant. So now it is non-living, but when it was seed of the plant, it was the part of the plant. So it was a living thing, part of the living thing. Then salt, non-living only, now and earlier both. Apple, now apple, just a apple, it means it is a non-living thing, but when it was on the apple tree, so that time it was the part of the living thing, because plant is living thing. So apple. Then rubber, again rubber comes from rubber trees. When it was on the trees, it was the part of the living things. So what is the solution? That butter, leather, wool, cooking oil, apple and rubber were once part of the living things. So which of the non-living things listed below were once part of the living things? Butter, leather, wool, cooking oil, apple and rubber were once part of the living things. Now question number 7. List the common characteristics of the living things. Here you have to list some common characteristics of living things. So you know that common characteristics of living things, first is respiration. They need respire. Food intake, they need to take food. Response to stimuli. Excretion, movement, reproduction. Means living thing grow, living things reproduce, living thing need food, then living things move from one place to another, living things excrete, living thing respond to stimuli, they need food, they respire. So some common characteristics of living things are respiration, food intake, response to stimuli, excretion, movement and reproduction. Now question number 8. Explain why speed is important for survival in the grassland for animals that live there. So here why speed is important for survival in the grassland for animal. It means why that to survive in a grassland speed is important for the animal. Here hint also given. There are few trees or places for animals to hide in grassland habitat. So you know that in grassland trees and some trees are there and some few places also there to hide. So and here for example we take that example of deer and lion. For tiger eats deer. So to survive deer has to run faster than the tiger. If they fail to run faster, it will die. So to protect themselves from the animals like lion and all, they has to run fast. It means we can say that speed is very important for survival in the grassland for animal to avoid predation from their predators. Example, tiger eats deer. To survive, deer has to run faster than the tiger. So students, here we end up the lesson living organisms and their surroundings. After this video, I will send you a PDF of this lesson. From this PDF, you can write textbook exercise, all question answers in your CW. We'll meet you soon with the next lesson.